Good evening and welcome to the November 14, 2023 meeting of the Fullerton Joint Union High School District Board of Trustees. Appreciate you being here this evening. And I would now like to call on our superintendent, Dr. Steve McLaughlin, to lead us in the flag salute. Thank you, Dr. McLaughlin. If you see us fussing with our phones or our computers, we're having, as you may know, some internet issues, so we're trying to hotspot things, and I think we all know how that goes sometimes. So bear with us if we looks like we're looking at our phone. We probably are, but not for texting or anything like that. The board members did meet in closed session prior to this open session part of the meeting, and we discussed the following items: an update on confidential personnel and pupil matters, student expulsions, and conference with legal counsel regarding anticipated litigation. There was one case. Regarding our confidential pupil expulsions reports, 2023-24, number 5 and 6, we will now vote on those. Is there a motion to approve the confidential pupil expulsion report 2023-24, number 5? Moved by Lauren.
Second.
Second by Chester. Discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion carries 5-0. Is there a motion to approve the confidential pupil expulsion report 2023-24, number 6? Moved by Marilyn.
Second.
Second by Chester. Discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries 5-0. Okay. Is there a motion to approve the agenda? Moved by Marilyn. Second by Vicky. Discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Approved 5-0, excuse me. And approval of the minutes. Is there a motion to approve the minutes of the October 10th, 2023 school board meeting? Moved by Vicky. And second, I'm going to say Marilyn beach out. Any discussion? All right, all in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Do board members have any correspondence that they would like to share? All right, seeing none. We do not have a student board member report tonight, but I will be turning over to Dr. Steve McLaughlin, our superintendent, to introduce the principals for their reports.
Thank you, President, following members of the board, people in the audience. Thanks for coming tonight. From Sonora High School, Mr. Cazares.
Thank you, Dr. McLaughlin, President Foley, members of the board. The month of October and beginning of November have been nothing short of busy for the Sonora Raiders, as we have made progress through the first quarter and are eyeing the end of the first semester. The last couple of weeks have brought the end of our fall sports season, which has brought a lot of excitement and enthusiasm around campus. Additionally, the season has brought our community together to celebrate Halloween with our annual costume and door decorating contest that was organized and run by our student leaders in ASB. It is always great to see the high level of participation for both our students and staff as they enjoy the fun together, and it continues to be a connecting moment for our campus. Speaking of connections, October also brought about the opportunity to meet many of our future Raiders as we opened our doors and hosted both Washington and Imperial Middle Schools to our campus for a day of tours, performances, and a club rush-like opportunity where all of our programs were able to share, provide information, and make connections with students to gain their interest and plug them in. It is another touch point that allows for us to give students the experience of being on our campus, ask specific questions, and build relationships during an exciting day. We are looking forward to our future Raider Night in December, where we will again invite any middle school student to join us for an evening of gathering, eating together, and enjoying a varsity basketball game that is meant to give a taste of the high school experience. Finally, I'd be remiss if I didn't specifically highlight our football program that has made tremendous strides over the last few years under the leadership of head coach Kevin Oberlander. This year, we experienced success on the field, culminating with this year's 9-3 record, a Freeway League championship, which was the first since 1994, and then making it to the CIF quarterfinals. Coach Oberlander was recognized for his efforts and the success of the team by being named the Los Angeles Chargers Coach of the Week, and we could not be more proud of our student athletes for the way they have carried themselves, their effort on the field, and the attention in the classroom, which can be attributed to the foundation built by Coach and his staff. This truly has been one of the many bright spots to start the year and carry us through a very productive fall semester. Thank you, and this completes my report.
Thank you, Ms. Cazares. From Buena Park High School, Dr. Berg.
All right. Thank you, Dr. McLaughlin, President Foley, and members of the board. So this was an eventful and event-filled month at Buena Park High School. We just completed our fall run of Alice in Wonderland, and so our theater production put on a really awesome show. Up next, in the winter, we're going to be doing Beauty and the Beast, so that should be a really fun one. And we were holding a really fun contest during Alice in Wonderland, where if you came dressed up as any costume, you got put into a raffle for free tickets to Beauty and the Beast. So I was the Mad Hatter supporting the show and got to do a little intro on stage, so it was kind of fun for the kids. So moving on to sports. So like Steve had mentioned too, I just wanted to give a shout out to a few programs. First, our football program, they finished their season in the quarterfinals of CIF, and that was a huge feat. They reached so many goals this year, and so it's just great to really talk about them. It's a great story of growth. 2 years ago, they were 0-10. So to be able to really come and rise up and to do that is a testament to their character and the building of the program that they went through the last couple of years. And our boys water polo continues to be successful. They also finished in the second round of CIF after jumping up a division this year. So great job to them for continuing their successful run and really pushing forward. And then we're really excited for the winter season because many of our programs in the winter are poised for successful seasons, from soccer to our girls polo team, our basketball teams, especially our girls basketball team. They're currently starting off ranked 5th in Orange County, so we are really excited to see their success this year. And that concludes my board report.
Thank you, Dr. Berg. From La Habra High School, Mr. Garcia.
Thank you, Dr. McLaughlin, President Foley, members of the board. On November 2nd, La Habra High School held its first annual College and Career Application Day. Under the leadership of Mrs. Arredondo, our APIO, and our guidance and counseling team, we were able to help over 400 seniors complete and submit plans to attend 2- and 4-year colleges. This project was supported the needs of all students, including our honors AP, our college prep students, as well as our students with disabilities, to make sure that they're college and career ready. With the rest of the school year to go, we're close to having every senior with a post-graduation plan the minute they receive their diploma. We would also publicly like to thank UC Irvine, Cal State Fullerton, Fullerton College, Cypress College, Fred Lentz and his advance, OCDE with Dr. Denise Harshman, Buena Park, Sonora, guidance teams, as well as Tiffany Wilson from Troy High School and Avid for their support for our students and our families in this incredible opportunity. In athletics, our fall seasons ended last week with football and boys water polo advancing all the way to the quarterfinals. And we had our final cross-country runner, Kennedy Colley, advance to the CIF prelims at Mount Sac. In addition, girls volleyball, we had 4 of our 5 fall sports participate in the CIF playoffs. And like Sonora's coach, earlier this month, Coach Frank Mazzota was recognized as the Los Angeles Chargers Coach of the Week. Mazzota finished his 26th year as the head of our football program that includes 23 Freeway League titles, 7 CIF championships, and currently, which is very rare, he has 3 current former players at the highest level of the NFL. Continuing with staff recognition, last week we attended the Orange County District Teachers of the Year banquet hosted by OCDE at the Disneyland Hotel, where science and ASB teacher Mr. Fitter was recognized for his incredible work in supporting all students. And then finally, as we ramp up for our open house in January, we were able to host 600 8th graders from Washington and Rancho Starbucks. Our students were excited to greet them and show them life as a Highlander as we were able to showcase our programs, our facilities, and campus life. We look forward to having Imperial Middle School join us in December with the hope that they will be wearing Highlander blue this summer. Thank you. This concludes our report.
Thank you, Mr. Garcia. From La Vista La Sierra Schools, Mrs. Leana.
Thank you, Dr. McLaughlin, President Foley, members of the board. As the district's continuation alternative school, the Vista La Sierra has the unique ability to allow students to graduate as soon as they complete their high school credits. We had 12 students from La Vista and 6 students from the iSierra Online Academy graduate at the end of first quarter. We're very proud of these graduates who are getting an early start to the next steps in their adult lives. And now it's the second quarter, which we kicked off with the Staff Development Day on November 1st. The highlight of the day was the Team Building Minute to Win It Games, organized by the La Vista La Sierra Mental Health Specialist. Staff had a blast competing, connecting, and laughing throughout these activities, and many of them have taken these lessons back to their own classrooms. Staff also participated in morning rotations centered around our 4 core values: school-based mental health, the 12 highly effective instructional and EL strategies, educational technology applications, and safety. Then in the afternoon, departments worked in professional learning communities. Finally, science, technology, engineering, art, and math, or STEAM, is the La Vista La Sierra focus for second quarter. Students participating in the STEAM community partnerships with Fullerton College's biotech team and artists from the Muckenthaler Center took field trips last week to the college to work in the biotech lab and to the museum to complete their stop-motion videos. These projects will be celebrated during STEAM Week alongside other projects and activities in December. Thank you, and that concludes the La Vista La Sierra report.
Thank you, Mrs. Leona. From Troy High School, Dr. Minster.
Thank you, Dr. McLaughlin, President Foley, and members of the board. At Troy, we feel gratitude going into the Thanksgiving holiday. We're grateful to have had a fall semester filled with positive and memorable moments, from the first day of school to our fall sports team successes, to our ever-growing number of clubs and students that are involved in them. It has been an exciting 23-24 school year so far. Thank you to all of our students, staff, parents, and members of our Troy family for making us who we are as a community. We are looking forward to the break next week and to enjoy the Thanksgiving holiday with our other family and friends. We anticipate being rested, relaxed, and ready to finish the semester strong. Thank you, and this concludes my report.
Thank you, Dr. Minster. From Fullerton High School, Dr. Rubio.
Thank you, Dr. McLaughlin, President Foley, members of the board. I would like to share our Wall of Fame inductees today. We had our homecoming late this school year, and every year we do induct alumni into our Wall of Fame that have done a lot for our school community. And thank you, Ms. Bucci and Dr. Calhoun, for being there and joining us that evening. We had 3. Usually we have 2, but this year we had 3. Wall of Fame inductees. We began with Richard Craig Jewett, class of 1930. So we went way back. A lot of their nominations are done by local community members, family members, alumni, and some members of our staff. And so he embarked on a successful journey in the construction industry and definitely helping support our Fullerton community. Second, we had Mr. Chris Norby, class of 1968, who was definitely involved in a lot of politics, from the state assembly to local, county supervisor, mayor, council here at Fullerton, and was also involved very actively in our high school. During his time, student government, a lot of other academic pursuits. And lastly, we also had Shirley Owens McClanahan, class of 1973, who is part of the Leon Owens Foundation. 2 of her brothers are major former NFL players and have already made it to our Wall of Fame. But she was very unique in that she led that foundation and was directly involved with a lot of support for our staff and students, including myself when I first became principal. And so we were very excited to bring her on board to our Wall of Fame, and she is class of 1973. So I always want to recognize those alumni. They are the ones that really, started off our own school district. So here they are. Secondly, I would like to showcase the announcement of our Avid Senior Scholar. We announced her this morning, Yasmin Vasquez Gomez. She is first gen, and she has been in Avid leadership for 3 years, part of our school site council committee. She's vice president of the French Club. She has been in Link Crew for 3 years and has done a lot of community service in the last 5 years. And she won IB French Student of the Year. She overcame a lot of family obstacles and is hoping to attend Chapman University or Cal State Fullerton. She wants to give back to her community, and so we're very proud that she's going to represent Fullerton at the end of the year Avid Senior Ceremony. Lastly, I do want to give a shout out to our staff as we continue on our instructional data-driven journey. Last week, we did our learning walks, and for the last 6 years, they have been a very big component of what we do at Fullerton, but it's usually just a handful of teachers that help us through and gather the data. We challenged our teacher leaders and our staff to join in and try to get to 100% of our classrooms to ensure that our data was gathered well. And we successfully had over 70% of our staff actually participate in the learning walks. And for them, that is a big deal. This is a teacher-led endeavor. And so for us, that really does mean that we are very proud of our collaboration and our commitment to our students and our commitment to self-reflection and improvement in order to meet the needs of our students. So I do want to thank our staff for that big accomplishment for sure. And with that, thank you. That concludes my board report.
Thank you, Dr. Rubio. From Sunny Hills High School, Mr. Weinrich.
Thank you. Good evening, President Foley, members of the board, Dr. McLaughlin. This past month has included a flurry of visual and performing arts activities for the Sunny Hills Conservatory of Fine Arts, or COFA, which is also showcased over here in the lobby. The annual COFA Fall Festival was a huge success as the Lancer COFA Council and staff leads, Chablis Bates, Vashti Lemieux, Preetha Mathan, and Leanna Volan organized an entertaining showcase of student dancing, acting, musical, and drawing talents in the quad after school for all to see. Lancer Theater, under the leadership of Christian Penuelas, also had a successful run of their fall play, One Man, Two Governors. And additionally, band director Whitney Stanton and choir director Aaron Duncan Schwartz collaborated on an amazing fall concert this past month as well. Lastly, several staff members have been seen rehearsing their dances for the upcoming Dancing with the Staff show, which promises to be great again this year. Our Lancer Link crew leaders have also been hard at work the past few weeks with tutoring and fun activities for our freshmen. This has included wrapping up Link leaders as mummies and Turkey Tuesday complete with turkey bowling. Thanks to Lindsay Safe and Christian Bueno for helping lead the Link crew leaders again this year. And finally, we have an update on our Pacemaker finalist nod that was given to our school newspaper, The Accolade, back in September. For the second time in the Accolade's history, the National Scholastic Press Association has awarded a Pacemaker Award to the Sunny Hills High School Journalism Program based on their 6 issues produced in the 22-23 school year. The Accolade was one of 16 high school newspaper news magazines nationwide that received this honor back on November 4th at a journalism convention in Boston. This award, similar to the Oscars or the Pulitzer Prize, recognizes the best of the best in publications. The last time Sunny Hills earned such an honor was 2005, and both times under our advisor, Tommy Lee. This concludes the Lancer report. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Weinrich. President Foley.
Thank you very much. Board members, any questions or comments? All right. Thank you very much, everyone. Appreciate it. Okay. Tonight we have several individuals who we will be recognizing, and they are recipients of the Simon Scholarship Program. And I'd like to invite Dr. Carl Zener, who disappeared, to the podium and to introduce our honorees and lead the recognition.
Thank you, President Foley and members of the board and Superintendent McLaughlin. We have some really amazing students to celebrate tonight, so thank you all for being here. We are recognizing our Simon Scholar recipients, and they are from Buena Park High School, Fullerton Union High School, and La Habra High School. So I'd like to introduce and invite to the podium to come up with me Simon Scholar Assistant Director of Scholar Recruitment, Juan Segala. Juan, if you're here, if you could join me, please. And also Principals Dr. Berg, Dr. Rubio, and Mr. Garcia. Juan, why don't you come stand right here next to me? Yes. Oh, once they pass you by. So if you stand right here, there you go, that's great. That's perfect, right there. So a little bit about our Simon Scholars. Simon Scholars is a unique scholarship program that begins at the end of a student's sophomore year in high school and continues through the completion of college. It is designed to help students facing difficult life and economic circumstances to excel academically and socially so they can successfully complete a 4-year college degree and pursue a meaningful career. So we want to thank you, Mr. Segala, and we'd also like to thank Mr. Ronald M. Simon, founder of Simon Scholars Program, for continuing to offer the opportunity to our students. So if we give a round of applause to Mr. Segala. And now, I'd like to introduce Buena Park High School Principal Dr. Berg to introduce his recipients. Dr. Berg.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. So I have two young ladies to recognize here tonight, both incredible leaders in different facets of our community at Buena Park High School. So I'm going to first call up Jocelyn Andrade. Now, one unique thing about all of our Simon Scholars is it's really caters to first-gen college students. And so she's on her way, at least where she wants to attend Cal Poly Pomona, and she really wants to become a veterinarian in the future. So she is a 3-year member of our Buena Park Agriculture Program, and she's a leader in that program, being the chairman of the SAE, which is a lot of the projects that they do, and the veterinary science portion of the program. She's also a 3-year member of Vocal Ensemble, where she's the secretary and section leader there as well. Singing and drawing, as you can see on her slide, are some of the ways that she likes to unwind because she is super busy. And she really likes spending time with animals, obviously being part of the vet science program, and that is a passion of hers and what she wants to continue on in life. And so just great future ahead of you, and I know the Simon Scholars has really helped, so Jocelyn Andrade. And our next one is Heaven Contreras. There we go. Now, she is a 3-year starter on our girls' water polo and swim team, and a member of the Chargers Club water polo team. And she's also a member of a variety of different clubs on campus, the Earth Club, which she's the secretary, Mental Health Club, the member of CSF and of Key Club. Both of these ladies are super smart students. Heaven is also part of our AP Capstone program and a member of the Buena Park High School Early College Academy. She's planning to go to UCLA with the goal of becoming a registered nurse and working in pediatrics. And her ideal activity is reading a good book and relaxing on the beach, and also a very proud Simon Scholar ambassador. So great job, ladies from Buena Park.
Thank you so much, Dr. Berg. And now from Fullerton Union High School, our principal, Dr. Rubio.
Thank you, Dr. Zehner. All right, it is my pleasure to introduce Samsarai Lopez Gutierrez to the podium. We are very proud of Samsarai. Her family, she is also first gen, and her family is from Mexico. One of her parents is from Michoacan, which is very important to me. That's where my dad is from, so we made a connection right there. But she hopes to attend UCLA in the future, USC, UCI. Her options are open, and she has 2 different career goals, maybe. She still hasn't decided whether she's going to go into physical occupational therapy or mechanical engineering. Either way, we know she's going to be super successful. She is definitely one of our top APIB honors students. She is involved in many things on our campus. Yearbook, she's a photo editor for it. She is in STEM Up for Youth Club, STEM Scholars, Helping Hands, Period Club, Link Crew, NHS, CSF, and we know with all of those, there's a lot of community service that is done through those clubs, and so not only is she getting amazing grades and participating in this program, but also giving back to her community. And aside from that, she is also part of a church choir and Taekwondo, so she is a junior black belt. So on her free time. So we are very happy that she is representing us in the Simon Scholar Program, and she's already helping us with recruitment for next year. And we had her in front of 100 kids speaking on behalf of the program yesterday. So thank you very much to Samsarai. We're very proud to have her in the Simon Scholar Program.
Thank you, Dr. Rubio. Now with several recipients from La Habra High School, Principal Dr. Garcia.
I'll take that compliment. I appreciate it. Thank you. I am very fortunate and proud that we have 5 La Habra Highlanders who have the recognition of being a Simon Scholar. It is amazing to have them all at one site, and I'd like to start first with Carla Alvarado. Carla is currently on our FFPA program. She was also a member of the FFA program. She will be a first-year Gen student, and she's very, very direct in terms she wants to attend UPenn and Ivy League school to study nursing. And thinking outside the box is even getting that cultural piece of studying abroad in Spain. And when we talked about that, the smile just lit up my office, so hoping that that does come to fruition. Her favorite class, though, is French, so maybe you can squeeze a little bit of the French-Spanish cuisine in there. Favorite teacher is Mr. Bartlett in math, and she's part of our French and Pro X Gen Club. So ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Carla Alvarado. Our next recipient of the Simon Scholars is Adam Arroyo. Adam is currently in our Heritage program, also was part of FFA. Plans to attend UC Irvine or Loyola Marymount to study business. He is a member of our Key Club. Favorite class is film with Mr. Miglarini, and he volunteers at his church by filming their weekly services. So ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Adam Arroyo.
Adam, good job.
And then the best part of Adam, he gets a partner in this journey because Daniel is also part of this as well. Daniel is also part of our Heritage program, and he will be applying to UCI, UCLA, Berkeley, MIT. If you start looking at that trend, he wants to be an engineer. He's involved in Key Club, but he has a favorite pastime, which is culinary, which I love that. Favorite teacher is Mr. Gallagher in math, and he also volunteers along with Adam filming his church weekly services. So ladies and gentlemen, Daniel Arroyo. Our next member is Cara Marchetti. Cara is currently also in our Heritage program. Previously in our MBA program, is going to be a first-gen college student, is a member of our ASB and the head of Spirit. She is an athlete as she competes in tennis and track in the shot put and discus. She's a Link crew member, which connects our freshmen to our school. Is also a Pro Gen X club member. Plans to attend, also very direct. I want to go to Oregon State, but also plans to have some backups with the Cal States as well in creative writing. She is in her favorite class is journalism with Mr. Goli. And then finally, gives back to community and providing support to our elementary school. So thank you, everybody. This is Cara Marchetti. And our 5th, laying the foundation for La Habra, hopefully for many years, these Fab Five. The last one is Leslie Reyes. Leslie is currently in our MBA program, a member of our Link crew, and she is the newscast editor. She will be a first-gen college student. She is an athlete as well, competing currently in our basketball program. She did great last night, scoring 11 points in the season opener. Is part of our tennis program as well. Pro X Gen Club president, which is great leadership skills and CSF. She plans to apply to USC and study business and law. I said, hey, you want to study business law? She goes, no, business and law. Perfect, setting that clear. Loves U.S. history and Mr. Carlisle as well. She's our junior class homecoming princess and already has a side hustle. She's a small business by Cakes by Leslie, which I love, mini cheesecakes and tres leches cakes. So I asked kind of where's her clientele. She kind of smirked and just kind of left it at that. So she has 2,000 people to kind of pull from. So ladies and gentlemen, Miss Leslie Reyes.
Thank you, Mr. Garcia. I hope you enjoyed your honorary doctorate for 5 minutes. And thank you, President Foley. That concludes my report.
Congratulations again to all of our Simon Scholar recipients. It's really wonderful. And thank you, Dr. Zener, for coordinating all of that. At this time, is there any information that the board members would like to share? Okay. Dr. McLaughlin.
Thank you, President Foley, members of the board and the audience. Just a couple things as we approach Thanksgiving, and I appreciate the comments on being thankful. Really thankful to be a part of this district, really thankful for our colleagues, thankful for our community, and really hope everybody has a wonderful and restful, relaxing Thanksgiving. As we speed quickly through it, there's a couple things to update. We are currently finalizing our facilities master plan process. And so under the direction of Mr. Hernandez and his team, we've been going out to the community, had some community input opportunities. We've been surveying the community and gathering information, and so just wanted to update the board and the audience. It would be the community. We are going to be recording this and posting that we're in the process of analyzing our facilities and deciding what to do next. So we will be bringing some of that information forward over January and February so that we can decide on things like priorities at the district level, funding sources, but at this point nothing's been decided. We're still in the process of learning because that's what we do here. We research and we learn before we make decisions. So just wanted to clarify that for the community and where we are. The next piece is a quick update. You mentioned some of the events we're hosting for our incoming ninth graders, which is so fantastic. And I had the opportunity last Friday, was it just that long ago, to host an articulation meeting with all the principals from local feeder districts and our principals. And what a treat for me to be in a room with such fantastic leaders. And I really appreciate the efforts going on at the sites in embracing our incoming Fullerton Joint family. We talk in terms as superintendents that there's a 44,000 strong that we represent all the kids coming from all 4 feeders and into the high school district. And so we're so excited to welcome them at the start of the new year with our open houses and registration and all the programs that we have to offer. As you heard in our Simon Scholars, the various levels that you get to be involved in, including culinary, including athletics, and including dual immersion or dual language. And we know that we are ready to go at Sonora High School again from La Habra side, and that we have some kids coming up from the Fullerton School District in 7th grade that I know Dr. Kaufman's been out and helping to coordinate those next steps in the Fullerton side of the house. And when Buena Park is ready, we'll be ready in the Buena Park side of the house, but they currently don't have a program there. But just so many offerings that we have, so many opportunities as we heard from our Simon Scholars today, and excited for our principals to welcome everybody as we get ready for our next generation of Fullerton Joint students. With that, it concludes my update, and again, happy Thanksgiving. Just really thankful, and hope everybody gets the time to just wind down a little bit, and then we'll come back and we got 4 weeks until break. Thank you.
Thank you very much. At this time, we'll hear from our employee association, so I'd like to invite FSCO President Angie Senkak to the podium to give an update.
Good evening, President Foley, Board of Trustees, and Dr. McLaughlin. It's hard to believe that we are preparing for Thanksgiving break and moving quickly toward the end of the first semester of the 2023-24 school year. Our members continue to work hard and to learn as much as they can to better serve our students and each other. Our new Employee Mentor Program is up and running on 5 of our 8 campuses so far. Our veteran teachers are busy working with our newest certificated employees to provide guidance and support where and when needed, working as coaches and mentors to those wanting the additional help. Vice President Amanda Gieser and I have asked for help recently from HR in identifying probationary teachers on our campuses and from administrators who feel that some of our teachers might need a little boost in guidance to make it through these difficult 2 years. We look forward to hearing soon from HR as to how we can better help serve these new educators. I also want to give a shout out tonight to Dr. Andrea Sandoval. She and her colleague, Charlotte Dobbins, applied for the Institute for Teaching grant through CTA and were awarded $16,924 for their sustainable garden project. Dr. Sandoval, Ms. Dobbins, and their ATP students have begun planting their gardens, and if you are at La Sierra High School anytime soon, stop by and see their efforts. After the new year, invitations will be sent for a ribbon cutting ceremony to unveil the garden area on the La Sierra campus. I have reported in previous board meetings that we have 8 of our members serving on the Instructional Leadership Corps through CTA. The ILC supports teachers and other educational leaders to design and facilitate learning experience for other educators in 2 areas. 1, to improve classroom instruction via the enactment of instructional shifts, and 2, to improve the school-based learning conditions for teachers via the enactment of leadership shifts. The ILC enacts this work most basically by selecting and supporting exemplary educators to provide learning opportunities with their colleagues. Those colleagues can then share their learning with others through formal and informal networks among and between all levels of the educational ecosystem. In this way, the living and breathing success of the project continues to grow in size and quality. Members of our ILC have chosen to work on the special education collaboration model to assist our general education teachers in working with our special education students in the classroom. CTA provides our ILC members with the opportunity to meet several times a year, pays for the substitute teachers when needed, and each participating member also receives a stipend for the work being done. We have been working to collaborate with our district office in order to work together on this progress and process, and so that we can build a successful team. Our ILC team members will continue the work they have started, and we are hopeful that we can join forces with district and site leaders in the near future to assist our teachers and our support providers in working with our special education students and produce an amazing collaboration model in FJUHSD together. And last but certainly not least, this week is American Education Week. Each year, American Education Week takes place the week prior to the Thanksgiving holiday. It was first celebrated in 1921 with the National Education Association and the American Legion as co-sponsors, and grew out of a national concern over illiteracy. In 1922, the U.S. Office of Education joined the effort as a co-sponsor, and the PTA followed in 1938. After more than 100 years, the original goal of the American Education Week, to generate public awareness and support for education, continues today. American Education Week honors students' determination to learn. It recognizes the professionalism and dedication of teachers, support staff, and other educators. It thanks parents and members of the community who help students succeed, and it rededicates the community at large to quality public education for every student. NEA President Becky Pringle recently stated, "American Education Week serves as a tribute to the team of people who work with our students. Everyone from the classroom teacher to the administrative staff to the cafeteria worker and the bus driver. We honor and thank them for the work they do every day to make sure that our students are safe and are ready and able to learn." She further exclaimed, "It's on all of us to make sure our public schools and education professionals have the resources they need to create welcoming learning environments where all students can thrive. Together we can create the safe, just, and equitable schools our students deserve and our teachers want to work in." Thank you.
Thank you very much. We do not have any reports from CSA or PTSA, and will now take a brief recess. Everyone is welcome to stay, yet you are in no way obligated to do so. So we'll reconvene in about 10 minutes. Thank you.
You're going up Monday?
Yeah, so I'm gonna go up on, Monday at like 6:30. Catch the flight from Santa Ana, because I have to work Monday. And, I would have preferred to leave a little earlier in the day. I don't love the idea of getting into San Francisco at night,
Yeah,
but
that's okay.
I don't wanna be in that picture.
No, we're not.
So I'm gonna go up Monday, and then, I can't take another day off work,
Yeah, I am.
so,
That's hard.
yeah. Are you going up on Monday?
I was going to, because Monday night they invite, oops.
Okay, but we stay for an hour. He doesn't know how long it takes. And then we're gonna get pictures. Hopefully.
This is government class? Yeah. All right, nice work.
It's just like the beginning. How'd they do? Slowly make our way over there. She's competing at the courthouse right now. I guess she did really well.
Sí, gracias al Mr. ¿Cómo se llama? Mr. Hernández García.
¿Qué quieres?
Parece que gracias.
Mr. Garcia!
All right.
Oh my god.
Thank you very much for sticking with us. I appreciate it. And at this time, it is a call for public comments. And these are for items not on the agenda. And individuals who fill out a speaker request form will be invited to the podium. And they have, when their name is read, and they have 3 minutes. It's 3 minutes per person or 30 minutes per topic. So we have a blue card from Janet Yandel. And so come on up. And I wasn't quite sure how to pronounce your name.
You were close. Nobody gets it
Okay.
right. Don't worry about it. Good evening. I want to start by commending the district administration on a policy you seem to have adopted where you communicate with FSTO and vice versa. I've been teaching for 38 years, and I have never experienced this type of openness. While the communication process gave me hope, because I have taught for many years, it is still hard for me to trust. Unfortunately, my fears have come to volition. The ILC grant FSTO received this year was known to the district administration. The fact that we, as teachers, wanted to create a comprehensive program for collaboration was also known to the district administration. We even invited the district administration to work with us. I was led to understand that they also thought this was a good idea. The fact that no one had time to speak to us or that sickness seemed to prevail in your office should have been a warning sign to us, yet we believed. We trusted. As a member of the collaboration committee, I served as a general education teacher who really believes in this program. All of the people serving on this committee come with the same kind of commitment that I felt. We worked, we developed a plan. Step one was to create a presentation that we could invite the principals and the APIOs to because we felt that if we started with their support, our program would be stronger. We then wanted to help provide tools and training before the beginning of the 24-25 school year. It is my understanding that the district administration was aware that this was happening. Imagine my surprise when I received an email wanting to know if I wanted to be trained by an outside entity that the district administration was sponsoring. This email had a simple invitation, yet it said so much more. It said that the district lied to us. They never had any intention of working with us. It said that the district does not have faith in their teachers. You clearly did not trust that we were capable of creating and implementing a collaboration plan. Because I have suffered through past years of lies and indignation, it was hard for me to not think, here we go again. The district lied to us, manipulated us, betrayed us, and abandoned us. Sadly, that is my new reality. And when I say sadly, I want you to know I truly mean that. Some things, unfortunately, just don't change. As I have lost faith in the district administration as a body of truth and communication, I haven't lost faith in the concept. I love my teachers, I love my school, and I trust my site administration, and I feel we are working together to create something better and stronger for our school. I still believe in our collaboration group. Am I done? Do I get to finish? I can be done if I
Are you
have to.
like a sentence?
No, I'm like at a paragraph.
Oh, could you do a sentence?
Do you want me to just do my last sentence? I'll just go there. I know you want us to believe that we're all in this together, but we're not.
Thank you for your comments. Non-agenda items may not be acted upon during the meeting nor discussed by the board. If you'd like further information, of course, please reach out. Contact us through the district website or contact staff members who'll be happy to talk to you and follow up with information. All righty. Okay, next is establishment of December 12th, 2023 is the annual organization meeting of the Board of Trustees. And the Education Code, sections 35143 and 72,000 require that the Board of Trustees holds an annual organizational meeting each year within a prescribed 15-day period. For 2023, that 15-day period is December 1st through December 20th. Education Code further requires that unless otherwise provided by the rule of the governing board, the day and the time of the annual organizational meeting shall be selected by the board at a regular meeting, and that is held immediately prior to the opening of that 15-day window, and to notify the county superintendent of schools of the time and day selected. Is there a motion to establish December 12th, 2023 as the Fullerton Joint Union High School District Annual Organizational Meeting? Moved by Marilyn. She did. You can. Moved by Marilyn, second by Lauren. Is there a discussion? Aye. And all in favor? Aye. Motion carries 5-0. We also have Board Bylaw 9321.1, 2024, Schedule of Regular Meetings of the Board of Trustees. Board Bylaw 9321.1 says that, or was presented for the first reading and information at the October 10th, 2023 Board of Trustees meeting. No edits or revisions were received. And so now the Board Bylaw 9321.1 is presented for approval. Is there a motion to approve Board Bylaw 9321.1? Moved by Chester, second by Vicky. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries 5-0. Okay. So now I'd like to call on Assistant Superintendent of Education and Assessment Services, Dr. Sylvia Kaufman, to present the Williams Settlement Legislation Monitoring results.
Good evening, President Foley, members of the board, and guests. This evening, for information, I'd like to share the Williams Settlement Legislation Monitoring results. Per Education Code Section 1240, county superintendents are charged with the responsibility to conduct reviews of schools identified for Williams Settlement Legislation Monitoring by the California Department of Education, also known as CDE. This is an annual review that is conducted statewide for all school districts selected at random by Orange County Department of Education, acting on behalf of CDE. The most recent evaluation cycle notification identified La Sierra High School for a review in the sufficiency of textbooks and instructional materials, maintenance of facilities, accuracy of data reported in the School Accountability Report Card, also known as SARC, and teacher assignment monitoring for the 23-24 school year. The materials, facilities, and SARC reviews took place between August and September of this school year. The teacher assignment review will be finalized through the Commission on Teacher Credentialing and will be reported separately through the California Statewide Assignment Accountability Systems. Results of the review were sent to the district on September 22nd, 2023. According to the notification from OCDE, the district met the sufficiency of textbooks and instructional material requirements as well as the SARC requirements. Two small findings were noted on the report regarding the facilities conditions. One classroom had extension cords and laptop charger cords on the floor in the sidewalk areas, and that has been rectified. Second, some tall cabinets were not anchored to the wall. That also has been rectified. At this time, this concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Do board members have any questions or comments? Okay, thank you very much. We do, I forgot we have taking a vote. Oh, no, we're on the textbook. I apologize, getting ahead of myself. Because it's back to Dr. Kaufman again, and this is to present the textbook revisions.
So this evening for first reading and information, the textbooks on the attached list are proposed for addition to the basic textbook list effective for the 23-24 school year. In accordance with District Administrative Regulation 6711.1, the textbooks have been reviewed by teachers and submitted to department leaders for evaluation. The members of the appropriate curriculum committees met with the administrative liaisons, have completed evaluation forms indicating that the books have been properly reviewed. The proposed additions have also been approved by Administrative Council and Superintendent. Information on the proposed basic textbooks are presently available in Education and Assessment Services for review by any interested persons. The textbooks will be recommended for adoption at the December 12, 2023 board meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, and that is an information item that'll be brought back to our next meeting. And now, Dr. Kaufman again, the Education Assessment Services team will present an update on education and assessment services.
Thank you once again. So once again, good evening, President Foley, members of the board, and Dr. McLaughlin and guests. Our theme this year is FJUHSD is the place to be. At the September board meeting, Business Services presented on school safety, highlighting the ways that FJUHSD is the place to be safe. This year, Ed Services is focused not only on being safe, but also being the place to be supported, engaged, and successful. Oops, one slide a little too quick there. This evening, we will bring attention to some of the ways Ed Services is focusing on each of these indicators that FJUHSD is indeed the place to be supported, engaged, and successful. All three indicators are embedded within our Set for Success commitment. The next few slides will spotlight what we've been working on to support our students' psychological health and to elevate instruction. I must share the results of our efforts are very positive. Let's get started by sharing that our Ed Services team and support staff have been working collaboratively to ensure the success of all of our instructional initiatives. Over the past year, we have focused our attention on supporting high needs student populations. We have focused our attention on equipping families and staff and overall in wellness and involvement, and teaching students and staff in the best first instructional practices following standards-based curriculum. Our Set for Success commitment helped us focus our time and effort on needs and desires that are most important, but there are a lot of things we've done over the past year. Here are some of the specific ways in which we have provided support over the past year. This list can be a little bit overwhelming when you look at it as a whole, which is why we have framed our efforts in Ed Services through the lens of SET, organizing our efforts by supporting, equipping, and teaching. We also want to make the best decisions possible, so we utilize data to help us identify what's working and where are the opportunities to enhance or improve. As you can see, there are a lot of data sources we use to measure effectiveness and success. And what we learn from all that data helps us to determine where we focus our efforts next. Next, to walk you through what we've been doing to support our students, Director of Student Support Services, Mr. Alan Witten.
Thank you, Dr. Kaufman. The goal of school-based wellness is a state of well-being that allows students to cope with the stresses of life, work productively, and thrive at school. Topics for tonight include our wellness vision, data, system services and resources, homeless and foster youth support, and our middle school wellness transition process. So let's look at our vision. Whenever we look at vision, we always start with our why. We know that thoughts of suicide impact high school students at concerning rates, and wellness systems are essential to sustaining safe schools. We also know when wellness concerns are addressed, learning, behavior, school completion, and post-secondary pursuits all improve. We've divided our supports into categories we refer to as systems, services, and resources. As a reminder, this document gives our team a common language and foundation for continual analysis of the effectiveness of our supports. Systems are the processes we use for managing wellness needs, including school-based wellness support, feeder district student transition support, contracted agency connections and coordination, and more. Services are targeted wellness supports, including mental health specialist presentations in the classroom, parent workshops, crisis response, well spaces, and more. And resources are the tools available, including our climate survey, Stop It, our tip line, virtual calming rooms, our community partners, and more. We've assembled such an outstanding team. It took some time, but we now have a dedicated wellness specialist at each site, and through training and partnerships, all FJUHSD staff are becoming ambassadors of wellness. Next, I want to share this year's Panorama Climate and Wellness Survey data, as well as some data on wellness supports. The goal of our survey is to capture student voice and collect actionable feedback data. There are 5 topics our team selected to focus on. In the slides to follow, I'll provide the actual topic and 2 years of data. First is supportive relationships. As you can see, we gained a modest 3 percentage points this year with students feeling supported. Of course, we want this to be even higher, but also recognize we're trending in the right direction. There you go. That's the 3% right there. School climate measures the students' perception of overall social and learning climate. With this being a big focus of all of our schools, we're thrilled to see a 6% gain in students' opinions of the positive energy at their school. Next is how much students feel that school is interesting, important, and useful. Also, thrilled to see a 6% improvement here. One of the things we noticed is our 9th graders are driving some of these increases. May suggest that the work to welcome and orient our 9th graders is having a positive impact on their early school experience. Emotion regulation, how well students regulate their emotions. Our mental health specialists were very excited to see this 4% gain. Now you can too. Last, we recognize how important sense of belonging is. When students report a positive sense of belonging, almost all school measures increase. With that said, we're happy to see this increase, but acknowledge we have work to do. So our sites use this data to celebrate positive accomplishments and find areas of growth and make action plans. For example, one of our sites identified sense of belonging as an area for growth. They shared and analyzed their student feedback data with their staff and presented strategies and classroom activities from Panorama that are proven to improve students' sense of belonging. I mentioned student voice is important. We collected nearly 7,000 responses to the 2 free response questions within the survey. I'm going to pause for a quick sip. The first one was, what is something a teacher or adult does well to support you? Panorama generates a unique word cloud for each school and the district, highlighting the most commonly used words. It's interesting that advice is the most common word to emerge here. Students also appreciate that adults listen, help, support, give extra time, and more. Examples of some of those responses are, one has a check-in form daily to see how we feel and provide safe spaces for people who need it. Or my case carrier supports me when I struggle in my classes. They're always willing to give me advice when I need it. The second free response question was, what can teachers or other adults do to better support you? You can see that understand, listen, mental health, late work, and more are big topics for our students. Examples of some of those responses are, be understanding and talk to us more. I think when a teacher genuinely connects with their students, it's beneficial to both sides. Of course, give less homework is always a popular response, as you can imagine, but we love how honest our students are, and the thoughtful feedback they give is so valuable. So it's great to see positive news in all 5 areas measured, and we're excited that these gains coincide with the implementation of some new programs, such as Summer Bridge, a focus on student leadership, an increase in wellness supports, including classroom presentations and staff training across the district. And now I'd like to share just some of our most impactful wellness supports. Last year, over 2,000 students visited our well spaces, and this year we're projecting to at least double that number of students supported. We're really excited about this one. You can see that our wellness specialists have a menu of topics they can present on, and our teachers, sports teams, and student groups are inviting them frequently to do so. This picture shows the Fullerton baseball team with their mental health specialists. Last year, they reached 3,000 plus, and this year with our full team, we're looking at a conservative estimate of over 8,000 student contacts. Unfortunately, crises do happen, whether it's the passing of a school community member or other situations that arise. Our team is trained and ready to respond with immediate and ongoing support for our staff and students as needed. And through partnerships with local health care such as CHOC, we are notified whenever a student is hospitalized for self-harm concerns. Our site teams that meet with the impacted families are outstanding. They provide You Matter bags with a multitude of resources to support the whole family and create individualized safety plans for the student. We have 3 school-wide wellness campaigns each year, including suicide prevention, healthy relationships, mental health awareness, and several smaller ones in between. Another wellness support we're very proud of is our homeless or McKinney-Vento and foster youth support. Our 327 McKinney-Vento and foster youth are supported weekly through Leaders in Resiliency with mentorship, tutoring, mental health, leadership and communication skills, social skills awareness, decision-making, substance abuse support, connections to community resources, and more. Another way we support students is by partnering with our feeder schools each spring. By connecting with each feeder school counselor and admin team, we ensure we are ready to support students transitioning to high school who need that additional support. Lastly, we're just thankful for the support to build our wellness systems, services, and resources. And while there's always work to be done, we're encouraged by the fact that our data indicates we are progressing in the right direction. As mentioned, FJUHSD is the place to be engaged, and now I'd like to hand it over to the Director of Educational Services, Steve Zamora.
Thank you, Mr. Whitten. In order to engage students and staff, Ed Services collaborates with our various curriculum committees, our assistant principals that oversee instruction and helps the sites develop, implement interventions, and more. That's the ... But tonight we want to accent at least 3 areas of focus: the Professional Learning Communities, or PLC's summer training, our Set for Success Professional Learning series, where we have set aside 72 opportunities for staff to engage in concentrated professional development, and the site-specific PLC days where schools set aside time in either a late start or early release day to allow staff to collaborate on improving instruction. Effective instruction is a major area of focus in Ed Services. To elevate instruction, the district has made a strong commitment to professional learning and collaboration at every school for all subject areas, for all instructional staff, beginning this past summer at the Solution Tree Conference. There were nearly 80 district staff members that attended a 3-day intensive summer school training on PLCs that included administrators, our TOSAs, department leads, and key site leaders. District and school site members were able to participate in panel discussions, as well as hear from some renowned speakers, Dr. Anthony Muhammad, Dr. Eric Twaddell, and Dr. Louis Cruz, all of whom are leaders in the action research that's behind the PLC process and the continuous improvement of instruction. Topics covered throughout the 3-day conference included defining team structures and responsibilities, PLC continuous improvement, leadership by design, addressing the needs of English learners, making students the hero of their own learning journey and common assessment processes, and a lot more. The conference increased the number of trained staff members at each district school in the PLC theory and practice so that we can maximize our efforts in creating a culture of effective and efficient instruction. We're also engaging our instructional staff through our continued commitment to the Set for Success Professional Learning series, which model the PLC strategies, and that's why you see the C there in parentheses. And where teachers from each subject area spend several days over the course of the year collaborating with one another under leadership of our amazing TOSAs. We're well into the 23-24 Set for Success Professional Learning series. We held our 29th PL day today with the math teachers with pre-calculus, AP, and IB. Last year, as you might remember, there were 3 phases in the series. Based on what we learned from last year, we've organized 2 phases this year with nearly the same overall number of professional learning opportunities as last year. Last year was 77, this year it's 72. And just as an example, here's some of the strategies that have been incorporated into the Set for Success PL days in just 3 of the core subject areas that we have. In English Language Arts, they're working on standard-based writing as well as a formative assessment and grade-level collaboration towards greater staff engagement. In math, they're working on collaborative classroom discourse strategies, data-driven interventions, collaborating in the grading of student work, and aligning formative performance tasks to the standards. Science teachers are aligning scope and sequence within each of the subject areas, aligning learning objectives with the CAST assessment targets, and collaborating on best practices. As you can see in this and the previous 2 slides, collaboration among our internal experts, that being our teachers, is key in each of the Set for Success PL days. But this year, as was the case last year, we're emphasizing certain strategies to address the timely needs of students. Last year, of course, collaboration strategies were identified as a real need for students who were coming back out of the pandemic, where isolation created the need to relearn how to work with one another in a classroom setting. And of course, we're continuing with those strategies, as you saw. But this year, we're also emphasizing strategies for English learners and our teacher on special assignment for English learners, Suzanne Boxdorfer, has been in nearly every single Set for Success PL day thus far to reintroduce strategies that help English learners in all classroom settings. And this also includes EL strategies for our students with disabilities, both in dedicated classroom settings and general education classrooms. When teachers return to their respective schools after a Set for Success PL day, the trained administrators and staff further implement professional learning communities by content area. We're continuing our commitment from last school year with another 20 early release or late start days per campus dedicated specifically to PLC work. Taking what we learned through the intensive PLC conferences past summer and what we did last year, our teachers and administrators are committed to focusing on the 3 big ideas of a PLC, or at least effective PLCs. We focus on what's learned rather than what's taught. And we emphasize that everybody in the classroom is a learner, including the teacher. Collaboration, where teachers truly co-labor as instructional teams to discover and implement the best instructional practices. And student results, using student outcome data to inform them on what has been learned and where there are gaps. Supporting students and their families and engaging our instructional staff in meaningful professional learning resulted in some pretty successful student outcomes as they relate to state assessments. And here to lead you through a brief and encouraging overview of our 22-23 CASP data is Educational Services Coordinator Dr. Melissa Freeman.
Thank you, Mr. Zamora. This intentional focus on learning data has resulted in outstanding student outcomes, which is evidenced in our CASP scores we've been celebrating in our district newsletter, across social media, and at our school sites. As a reminder for all, California Assessment of Student Performance and Progress, or CASP, is the statewide academic accountability system. CASP utilizes the Smarter Balanced, or SBAC exam, to assess student academic achievement in 3 subject areas: English Language Arts, or ELA, mathematics, and science. The assessment is administered for students in grades 3 through 8 and grade 11. The assessment is administered once per school year in the spring. As FJUHSD is grades 9 through 12, our results are for grade 11 only. CASP results for the spring of 2023 administration of the exam were publicly released on October 18th by the California Department of Education. Now let me take you through the results. Here you can see we have 5 years worth of CASP data for the district, Orange County, and California for grade 11 performance in the subject of English Language Arts. These charts are showing us the percentage of students either meeting or exceeding the standards on the exam. You'll see that in the 2019-2020 school year, there are no results. As you will recall, there were no assessments that school year due to the pandemic. In 2020-2021, students were in distance learning and the CASP was administered remotely. The assessments were an abbreviated version of the exam and, with students taking the assessment from home, test security was difficult to control. Due to those factors, you'll see a spike in scores across the board for that school year. We are focusing in on the data post-COVID, with full administration of the test in the secure testing environment of our school sites for the 2021-22 and 2022-23 school years. You can see that our student scores for ELA increased 6 percentage points from the spring of 2022 to the spring of 2023 administration of the CASP. Those are huge gains for our students. Further, our district students outperformed the countywide and statewide averages for grade 11 in ELA by 3 percentage points for the county and 12 percentage points for the state. While this does deserve celebration, we must acknowledge that with 67% of students meeting or exceeding standards, we still have 33% of our students who continue to need our support. This is the data for the district, county, and state for grade 11 in the subject of math. Again, this data is showing us the percentage of students who met or exceeded the standard on the assessment. We are focusing in on the data post-COVID, and our students showed great gains, with an increase of 5 percentage points from 2022 to 2023. Further, our district students outperformed the countywide and statewide averages for grade 11 in math by 6 percentage points for the county and 17 percentage points for the state. We are celebrating our growth, but acknowledging that 44% leaves a lot of room for improvement. And finally, here is the data for the district, county, and state for grade 11 in the subject of science. For science, the assessment was suspended for 2 years due to COVID, thus the gap in scores for the 1920 and 2021 school years. Our students increased 5 percentage points from 2022 to 2023 for a total of 42% of students meeting or exceeding the standards in science. As you can see, FJUHSD students swept the county and state averages for grade 11 in all 3 subject areas, outperforming the county average for science by 1 percentage point and the state by 10 percentage points. We still have a lot of work to do to further enhance instruction and improve student outcomes. Now, when we analyze our student outcome data, we want to dig deeper than our overall scores to identify what is working, as well as where we may need to focus more energy and resources. When we dig deeper into our student outcome data, we look at the performance of our various student groups. This includes student ethnicity groups, as well as students with disabilities, English learners, reclassified fluent English proficient or RFEP students, and students from low-income households. So let's start by digging into our ELA student outcomes. Remember, our overall student population hit 67%, meeting or exceeding the standard in ELA. We had 3,058 11th grade students for the spring of CASP administration. That is a 98% participation rate for our 11th grade students, which is great. Here we have student groups by ethnicity. This data does not represent all student ethnicities, but captures the most statistically significant groups within the district. We have our Asian student group that increased in ELA by 5%, hitting 92% meeting or exceeding standards. Our 11th grade Asian student group that tested in the spring of 23 included 555 students, making up 18% of our student population that was assessed. You can see that our white student group increased 4 percentage points and made up 10% of our student population that was assessed. The largest ethnicity reflected in our testing group was our Hispanic student group. 1,774 students, or 58% of students assessed, are of the Hispanic ethnicity, and this group improved by 5%, having a great impact on the overall district performance. Here we have our student outcomes for students with disabilities, English learners, RFEP, and students from low-income households. Outcomes for our students with disabilities and English learners has not seen much movement. As you've heard, we are focusing on supporting these students through the work in our district-wide professional learning days and site PLC days. You can see our RFEP and low-income groups have increased by 5 and 8 percentage points respectively. I want to draw your attention to the low-income group because this group represents 60% of our student population tested. And our success with this group was one of the driving forces raising student outcomes in ELA across the district. This is something to celebrate. This is what movement in closing the achievement gap looks like. We're seeing big gains, but we still have a lot of work to do. Now let's dig into math. We had 3,053 district students test in math. Let's look again at student groups by ethnicity. A lot to celebrate for each of these groups, with increases in meeting or exceeding the standard in math by a range of 2 percentage points for our Hispanic students to 8 percentage points for our white student group. Again, here you'll see we have not had much movement in our students with disabilities or English learners, a continued area of focus for enhanced support and instruction. But we have seen increased in both our RFEP and low-income student outcomes. I'd like to again draw your attention to the low-income group representing 60% of our student population tested. Like ELA, our success with this student group was one of the driving forces raising student outcomes in math across the district. This is what movement in closing the achievement gap looks like. We're seeing big gains, but we still have a lot of work to do. Finally, let's do a dig in science. We've had 3,049 11th grade students test in science. When we look at student groups by ethnicity, again, there's a lot to celebrate, with increases in meeting or exceeding the standard in science by a range of 2 percentage points for our Hispanic students to 9 percentage points for our Asian students. Looking at the student outcomes for our additional student groups, as we have seen with ELA and math outcomes, we are not seeing much movement for students with disabilities or English learners. are continued areas of focus, but a healthy increase in both our RFEP and our low-income student outcomes. Just as we saw with ELA and math scores, our success with our low-income student group was a driving force, raising student outcomes in science across the district. This is what movement in closing the achievement gap looks like. We're seeing big gains, but we still have a lot of work to do. And with that, I'd like to hand it back to Dr. Coughlin.
Thank you so much, Dr. Freeman. These results are very encouraging, and they point toward our greater vision in ed services, which is empowering every student to be future-ready, globally competitive, and responsible citizens. As we have shown this evening, FJUHSD is the place to be supported through our expanded mental health system, services, and supports. It's a place to be engaged through professional learning communities at each school and through the Set for Success Professional Learning Series. And it is a place to be successful, as you have seen in the CASP results. But now what? Because there's always more, we can always do more to improve. We will continue with what has been working, and we will add more ways to support mental health by having mental health specialists engaging more in classrooms, providing focused mental wellness professional learning for all staff, because we are all ambassadors of wellness, and increasing county partnerships. More ways to engage by focusing on math and English language arts essential standards and formative assessments, introducing more targeted interventions. In particular, we will be piloting 2 reading intervention programs this coming spring at some of our schools, embedding EL strategies and best practices in all set professional learning days, partnering with SELPA for collaborative training, collab training, and by adding special education instructional TOSA to focus on instructional practices and strategies and interventions as well. And greater success as measured by increased numbers of English learners being reclassified as English proficient, continued positive student outcomes on state assessments, especially as they relate to at-promise student populations. FJUHSD is the place to be safe, supported, engaged, and successful. Thank you, and this concludes our report.
Thank you very much for that comprehensive and informative report. Board members, questions or comments? Ma'am?
Again, I would just add my thanks for that very comprehensive overview. Answered a lot of questions that I've been asking about the panorama results, and then had a conversation with the superintendent about the test results, and you broke it down beautifully into the categories, which answered some of the questions I had that day we talked. So thank you, all of you, for that great report. Appreciate it.
Hey, thank you very much. Appreciate it. I'd like to call on Assistant Superintendent of Human Services, Dr. Ed Atkinson, to present Board Policy 6310, Pupil Attendance Calendar for 24-25.
President Foley, members of the board, Dr. McLaughlin. Tonight I present Board Policy 310, the Pupil Attendance Calendar for 2025-2026 school year. This calendar has been shared with our component school districts, all district staff members, employee organizations, parent and student leaders, our community groups, the principals, and our superintendent. Additionally, a copy of this calendar has been placed on the district website and is available and has been available for review by all district stakeholders. There have been no concerns expressed regarding the calendar. Tonight I present Board Policy 6310, the Pupil Attendance Calendar for 2025-26, and submit for second reading and adoption.
Thank you very much, and thank you for that correction on it is 2025-2026. Is there a motion to approve Board Policy 6310, Pupil Attendance Calendar?
Approval.
I think that was Lauren.
It was Marilyn.
Oh, it's Marilyn. I'm
got
so
it.
sorry.
But I'll second
Marilyn.
it.
And you're the second? All right, thank you. Discussion? All right, all in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Thank you very much. Okay. Whoops, got my pages stuck together here. It's called Butterfingers. I don't know, maybe that's just my grandma. I would like to call upon Assistant Superintendent Dr. Carl Zener to give us a report on a communications update.
Thank you, President Foley, members of the board, and Dr. McLaughlin. Our November newsletter was sent out November 1st with the theme FJUHSD is the place to be engaged and successful. And inside this month's newsletter, we shared some fantastic news on our students' success and engagement, including the incredible CAS results you just heard about. We are excited at the end of the month to celebrate La Vista and La Sierra's Golden Bell at the upcoming CSBA conference on Thursday, November 30th. They were also featured in last week's OCDE newsroom. And also on November 30th, we will be highlighting La Vista La Sierra's incredible adult transition program as we film this program and highlight the great work of that staff and students. And our Orange County Department of Education celebrated our Teachers of the Year, Mr. Fritter from La Habra High School and Mr. Kirkpatrick from Troy High School. We had a wonderful celebration for them at the Disneyland Hotel in their honor on November 6th. And the district would like to acknowledge the following awareness days for the month of November, including National Homeless Youth Awareness Month, Good Nutrition Month, National Child Safety and Protection Month, National Family Literacy Month, National Native American Heritage Month. We recognize Veterans Day last Friday. It is this week, American Education Week. Next week is National Family Week. We are looking forward to Thanksgiving next week. And this week is National School Psychology Week. And we want to thank our dedicated school psychologists who work tirelessly to nurture the mental and emotional well-being of our students. And we thank you for their positive impact on our schools. Thank you, and that concludes my report.
Thank you very much. We are to our consent calendar. Are there any items that board members would like to have pulled for separate consideration or comment? Thank you. Is there a motion to approve the consent calendar?
Move approval.
Moved by Lauren. Is there a second? Second by Jester. Discussion. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries. Board members, do you have any comments you'd like to share at this time?
Well, I'd just like to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving and thank everyone for everything that they do for our kids and our community and for all of us. So thank you and have a great Thanksgiving.
I just want to say ditto. And thank you for your reports. As always, I thoroughly enjoy them. Appreciate it.
I just want to make a few comments. The reason why I got on this board is that I want to see improvement with all of our schools, and they've done just that. And I want to thank all the teachers, because if it wasn't for all those teachers and principals and assistant principals, this wouldn't have happened. I'm just so proud of each and every one of you. And I just pray that we all continue to move forward and get things done in the right way and won't have any conflict. But I'm really, really excited that we're going to continue to move up. And thank you for the induction on Shirley Owens. If it wasn't for the Leon Owens Foundation, I wouldn't have got my doctorate. I wouldn't have gone to college. I've been in this community from kindergarten all the way up to college and community college. And I'm proud of this board. And I'm proud of this school district. So I just want everybody to know we're doing our best. We're going to continue to do our best. And you wonderful principals, have a wonderful Thanksgiving, as well as the community, and as well as our superintendents and our assistant super. And thank you very much.
No, I want to echo what my colleagues have said, and happy Thanksgiving.
Ditto, 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 ditto. I hope you have a very wonderful week off, everyone, and happy Thanksgiving. And Dr. McLaughlin, any comments? At that, we are adjourned.